Hello? Is anyone there? This isn't funny. Who's there? Stanley?
He's in the other room, Warpig.
Ugh, god damn it. Ugh, fuck.
Being present even in Alpha, banding was a horrible and complex ability that, more often than not, just ended in a counterproductive mess. Often labeled as the worst ability in all of Magic due to how confusing the text was, Wizards somehow managed to hold on to this shitty keyword for 4.5 years. When all was said and done, 50 cards would stand contaminated with this awful mechanic. Legends was one of these sets that held on to this putrid idea. Debuting a year after Magic came out, Legends was hastily thrown together and was arguably one of the worst sets in all of Magic. The cards were weak and overcosted, and the set altogether made no sense at all. For one thing, there were almost twice as many rares in the set as commons. How can you fuck something up that bad? Its only redeeming quality is that it introduced legendary cards to Magic, but many may even argue that that was a downgrade. Especially when the legendary rule only half applied at that time, making only the last copy of the legend that entered the battlefield have to be sacrificed. To further extend the range of how crappy this set was, it employed banding to an entirely new degree. Ugh, Jesus, look at this one. If Wall of Caltrops and one or more other walls join to block an attacker and no other creatures besides walls block that attacker, Wall of Caltrops gains banding ability until end of turn? Who the hell came up with this stuff? I'm winded just reading this shitty effect. Why is there so much damn text on that card? Did they actually expect someone to read and comprehend the essay that they just wrote? It doesn't even begin to end there, and the crappiness of what I'm about to show you has a direct correlation to your knowledge of this crappy banding effect. Banding was an extremely complicated ability that basically went like this. If you attacked with a creature with banding, you would be able to pair it with other attacking creatures with banding, or up to one other creature who didn't have banding. The attacking group would then be labeled as a band. Makes sense, right? And then it could be equated as if you were attacking with one large creature. Who needs that crap? Your opponent would then gain the ability to block, but if they blocked just one creature in your band, every single creature in that band would be blocked by that one creature. The only upside to this would be that once blocked, you would be able to distribute the damage of the defending creatures among your banded creatures. Lost? Yeah. This effect was garbage. This was a huge price to pay, since if only one of your banded creatures had an evasive ability such as flying, it wouldn't mean diddly shit to the rest of the band, because as long as your opponent could block just one creature in your group, that creature blocked every other creature in that group as well, and you wouldn't be able to deal any damage. To further complicate things, you could also block as a band to distribute attacker damage, but if an attacking band was blocked by a defending band, then a rip in the space-time continuum would occur, and you might lose your ass.
Why was this ability so damn cryptic? Could they have made it any more difficult to understand?
Of course they made it more difficult to understand. Let me introduce to you Adventurer's Guildhouse. Oh my god, look at this atrocity. It was so horrifically bad that they couldn't even give it the banding ability. They made it bands with others, and I know what you're thinking. What in the hell is bands with others? Well, let me explain. Bands with others was a restriction on the already back-assed keyword of banding, so now instead of being able to band your creatures with other banding creatures and up to one other non-banding creature, you now could only ban the appropriate creatures with the specified type. In this case, Adventurer's Guildhouse allowed your green legends to band with other legends, but this wasn't even the original definition of the ability. To make things even fucking worse, this ability originally only allowed you to band green legends with other green legends who had the same bands with other legends ability. The text was only changed 15 years after the card was released. 15 years!
This ability was just awful. Imagine if Wizards gave your creature flying, but only if it attacked with 2 or more other creatures. Or imagine if your creature had trample, but only if it was blocked by a creature of the same damn type. This ability was an abomination to the entire game.
Bands with Other was so bad that no cards in the entire game actually had the ability. The only thing that even came close to this was a land that granted the ability and a single token that had Banding with Other wolves. Also, Adventurer's Guildhouse was a part of a cycle of 5 lands, all of which gave Banding with Other legends to the legends of their respective colors. I didn't bother collecting the rest of these eyesores because I didn't want to contaminate my magic collection of basic lands and chimney imps with something this useless. And speaking of eyesores, look at the art on this card. Why is everything so generic? Adventurer's Guildhouse? The art is a damn house. It's just a regular, old, mundane, run-of-the-mill house. Anyone could be living in there. Couldn't they get anyone more creative on the job? I mean, there's nothing adventuring about this thing. And it almost looks like it's completely deserted. Probably because all the people in the area know about how damn horrible this card is. Also, why is there a giant fart cloud behind the house? Is this supposed to be a desert or something? Why isn't it in a forest? Because it talks about green legends. This card makes no sense at all. And as if it couldn't get any worse, this card was a rare too. Who would want to have this at the back of their pack? I mean, imagine spending your hard-earned money only to discover this atrocity sitting in the back just waiting for you. As we've seen in the past, Wizards eventually acknowledged the vomit-inducing nature of this card. Eventually, Wizards printed the only Bands with Other card in the entire game 10 years after this shitty keyword was used for the first time. Old Fucky had Bands with Other dinosaurs and was printed in the joke set Unhinged.
This card was horrible, and above all else, it was a land. Why in God's name did they make it a land card? Who in their right mind would even consider running this asshole just to fall back an entire turn because it produced no mana at all? I mean, look at this. The effect was complete and utter shit. The art looked like it was done by a kindergartner and was completely bland. That's it. It's time to fix up the art and send this card back to hell where it belongs.